Hello, everyone. So, today let's look at how to write an eye catching abstract. So, you may be a student who is following an undergraduate degree program or a postgraduate degree program, including MBA, MSc, or even PhD. So, this abstract gives a snapshot of your research report or the research article. So simply it gives a clear-cut idea to the reader about what you have done in your next couple of pages in your research report. So let's go and look on how to write an eye-catching abstract. Now, first and foremost, here you can see I have given you an example. Here you need to write the research topic where it clearly identifies the dependent, independent, and the sample of your research. So here the topic is the director's stock purchases on stock performance, evidence from Colombo Stock Exchange. So then you have to write the abstract title. So if you are going to publish your research in an article, so you need to indicate the names of the authors in between these two. Okay, so now you can see this is an example of an abstract, and here these are the main elements that you need to consider when you're going to write an abstract. So here you can see the importance and gap is there, objective or objectives are there, method or methods are there, key findings are there. So you should want to include the limitations most of the times, then the implications. Now, one other question that most of the people are having is that when to write the abstract, whether it is at the very beginning or whether it is once you complete your entire thesis, dissertation, or your research article. So it actually at the end, because once you complete your thesis, dissertation, or research report, you only know that the main important things in your document. All the things are important, obviously, but you can figure out what are the main points of each and every chapter from introduction to conclusion. Then you are in a really good position to write your abstract, even though the abstract appears in the first few pages of your thesis dissertation. So if it is a publish research article, if you're going to publish it as a research article, so it will be the front page, right? So once you complete your entire thesis, dissertation, or research report, you can write your abstract in a correct way. So now you can see, as I earlier illustrated, these are the elements of an abstract. So you have to write the abstract in accordance with these given headings. No need to write the headings, but you have to include the things which are relevant to that heading in your abstract. But when you are going to publish your research in a particular journal, sometimes you have to write each of these things by indicating the titles. But for the academic programs, most of the time you may won't do it. Okay, so now let's look at now the abstract, right? So now this is the research topic. So we are going to write the abstract. As I earlier said you, this is the snapshot of your entire research. This gives the key scenarios or segments of each and every chapter that you have written in your research report. So once the reader reads this, it should be attractive. To make it attractive, we have to write it in a different way where the attractiveness can be achieved. So here you can see the first thing that you need to do is when you're going to write your abstract is you should want to emphasize the importance and the gap. Now here you can see according to this particular topic, here it says in a very simple way, you know that when it's come to the companies, we have director board. So when the directors are purchasing stocks, what will happen to the company's stock prices? So that's what this research was all about. So we need to emphasize the importance of doing this research as well as the gap. Now here you can see it says the separation of ownership and control is a key feature of modern corporate entities. So that is simply the agency problem. Though the compensation arrangements may include stock options to balance the shareholders' preferences with the directors and managers, still this raises additional issues when a director wants to purchase their company's stocks since they have access to more significant information about the company. So that is the importance and the gap you can see, right? So once the reader is reading this particular sentence, it should be attractive and it gives some sort of a positive feelings for the reader to read the other line as well, right? So then here it says, now this is the importance and the gap. So then you are going to tell the objective or objectives. Then it says accordingly. Now you can see that each and every line is having a link, right? So accordingly, this study investigates the impact of directors' stock purchase transactions on stock performance, focusing on whether such transactions are promptly reflected in stock prices on the Colombo Stock Exchange, Sri Lanka. So that's the objective, right? So you are going to look at what will happen to the stock prices once the director purchase the stocks of the companies. So additionally, it explores whether the gender of the directors influence the stock performance following these transactions. So now what you're going to do, yes, as a whole, you are going to identify the impact to the stock performance once the company director purchased the stocks. So other than that, you are going to identify the impact to the stock performance based on the gender. So what will happen to the stock prices if male director purchase the shares? What will happen to the stock prices once the female director purchase the shares likewise? So now it's very clear. So the information is importance and the gap has been clearly written. Then the objective has been written. Then you need to write how we are going to achieve this objective. That is simply the method. So it says the analysis covers the period from March 2013 to 2019, comprising 141 direct stock purchase transactions. So here you are going to indicate the timeline, your sample. An event study methodology is employed to examine the research questions. Right. So now we are going to tell the tool or the way that you are going to achieve this objective. So you are going to actually you ran a event study methodology. Right. So that is the method. Then you need to tell the results. You had an objective. So in accordance with the objectives, you design your method. Then you need to tell what has happened. Key findings. The findings reveal significant negative abnormal returns following direct stock purchases, indicating that these transactions are not rapidly reflected in the stock prices. Yes, so this is the results. So once the directors purchase the stock will not perform that much. So when analyzing by gender, stock purchases by male directors result in significantly negative abnormal returns, whereas those by female directors do not yield any significant abnormal returns. So there was another objective to do the analysis based on the gender wise. Now this is the results according to the objective. Moreover, both male and female directors stock purchases are not promptly incorporated into the stock prices. So this is the result. So this is what you want to achieve and this is the achievement. This is the achievement. So that is our key findings. Then sometimes some authors they are writing the limitations as well. So to some extent, yes, we can say it's a good. Why? Because these abstracts are reading by another authors, so these limitations could be considered as a positive thing from their point of view, and they can do another research by eliminating this limitation. So here you can see it says the study does not account for the number of share purchased. Now here it says you only consider about the purchase and its impact on stock performance, but you didn't consider about the number of shares that each and every director has purchased. So additionally, some transactions had to be excluded due to the unavailability of the data. So this is the limitation. So if another researcher is reading this abstract, so if he wants to do a research in this particular area, so he can do it by eliminating these limitations. So that's the positive thing of including limitations. So then now we are going to tell about the implications, the significance. So here you can say the findings offer valuable insights for policymakers, practical significance, suggesting the need for measure to curb potentially harmful trading behaviors and enhance the timeliness of the reporting director stock purchases. So this is a practical significance. So these improvements could reduce the information asymmetry, foster investor confidence, and ultimately help to lower the company's cost of capital. Right. So you're bringing some theoretical arguments to provide the practical significance. So now you can see at the very beginning, you clearly emphasize the importance and the gap of this research and what is your objective, then how we are going to achieve the objective, then the results, then the limitations, and how your results could be used by the practitioners under the implications. So once you write this type of a abstract, yes, of course, it's eye-catching. Of course, it's eye-catching. And you can see that there is something called keywords there, right? Keywords. Now, here I have indicated keywords as Colombo Stock Exchange director stock purchases, female and male directors. Right now, keywords simply assist you to position your research article in the databases. Because if another author is typing these words, right, so it helps that particular author to identify your research from the online databases. So that is the importance of keywords, right? So in the code, if you look at your abstract, the main important elements, you are going to write it as keywords, right? So here you did the research for the Colombo Stock Exchange. Yes, it's director stock purchase, and you are considered female and male directors as well, right? So when another author is searching through web by typing these names, yes, of course, your research will be appeared in first two or three links because this helps the other authors to find your research. So this is how you write an eye-catching abstract. So thank you very much.